Touching down at Yeager Airport in Charleston, West Virginia, about 3 miles from the city center, the airport is named after Chuck Yeager, the first person in world history to fly faster than the speed of sound.
经过下降时的一路颠簸，让我心惊胆战了一会。我现在要坐在这里休息一会，平复一下我的心情。
Chuck Yeager's statue sits proudly inside the airport, along with old photos and model planes. Outside the airport, we can see a special place for Uber and Lyft to wait for pickup.
出了机场以后，我们可以用当地的打车软件，像 Uber 或者是 Lyft， 然后打车去我们市中心或者我们想要去的目的地。这机场里面也有一些租车的公司。
Speaking of West Virginia, you may think of John Denver's song, Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Driving down the country road, look at the beautiful scenery outside the window. We arrived at state capitol before I knew it. There are several local tourist landmarks here: the Veterans Memorial, the state government building, the governor's residence, and the replica of Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. The Liberty Bell is a symbol of the spirit of freedom in the United States. The golden leaf dome of the state government building is actually higher than the U.S. Capitol, and the governor's official residence is a model of Georgian Renaissance architecture. Entering the state government building, we can see that there are pictures of all the governors of the state, and the governor's office is also here. On June 20th, 1963, President Kennedy delivered a speech at Centennial Celebration in West Virginia. When it rained that day, Kennedy said a classic sentence: "The sun doesn't always shine in West Virginia, but the people always do." He means that the sun may not always shine on West Virginia, but people here always shine through the hard times. The Veterans Memorial commemorates all West Virginia heroes who died for their country in the war, and there are also some monuments dedicated to the family of those heroes. The State Museum of West Virginia is a must-visit scenic spot in the city. It shows the history, culture, and local customs of West Virginia. It also features the telescope used by President George Washington, the father of the United States, when he was a surveyor in his early years. Such as an American white man named James in this 1856 bill of sales says he sold his black slaves and took a photo. We can also see some information about the Civil War, including some personal information of the famous Confederate General Stonewall Jackson, who is also a native of West Virginia. There is also the famous Hatfield-McCoy Field in American history. It tells the conflict between two families living on the border between West Virginia and Kentucky between 1863 and 1891. The guns they used at that time are also on display in this museum. There is also a lot of history related to coal, which used to be the source of livelihood of many locals. Although it's hard work, tiring, and dirty, it supported a lot of Americans in years gone by. With the continuous crackdown on coal mining by the federal government of the United States, many people have changed from being rich to living a difficult life and being unable to maintain basic needs. But in this museum, we can still see its glorious history. From the State Museum along the Kanawha River at East End Historical District, we can see many Victorian houses. This district is recorded in the National Register of Historical Sites in the United States. West Virginia is known as the Mountain State. It is the only state in the United States that is fully covered by the Appalachian Mountain Range. Far from downtown, there is a landmark called Sunset Heritage Trail. The place is very suitable for us to get close to nature and imagine our bright future. I can't help but think of Fan Zhongyuan's poems. Blue clouds, yellow leaves, autumn waves, cold smoke, and green on the waves. we can see the whole downtown of Charleston. Speaking of the downtown of Charleston, we find ourselves on Capitol Street, a famous street downtown. From historical store to the old clock, it suddenly seems as though we have traveled back through time. When you stroll the street, you can see some famous local restaurants, such as The Block, Allen's Homemade Ice Cream, there is also the Peanut Shop. The store opened in 1950 and has a history of more than 70 years. There are all kinds of nuts, peanuts, and handmade popcorn in the store. From the peanut shop, we drive to a market called Capitol Market. It is a landmark of Charleston. It's built in an old railway station. The market sells some local specialties, snacks, tobacco, wine, gifts, and handicrafts.正好买好了这个沙拉，然后这个坚果，我们来尝一尝吧。闻起来很有香味。这个沙拉很不错哦。现在我们来尝一尝这个坚果。坚果吃起来很香的。In order to deeply understand the local customs, we found those two young guys. They have in-depth contact with the people in the local community. Let's ask them some questions.
Okay, so I know you both have been here for a long time, a while.
Yeah.
What's your impression of Charleston?
Charleston.
All around this area. Right?
Honestly, we just got finished with fall here, and it's probably the prettiest fall I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, the seasons are beautiful here in Charleston and in West Virginia. I think West Virginia has a lot of nature that is really just beautiful.
How do you feel about the local culture? Like, what are the people like here in West Virginia?
They're really kind. I feel like they're humble too. They're kind and welcoming and humble to us. Honestly, I feel fantastic. I don't feel like an outsider at all here. They're wonderful.
What about you?
I feel the same way. Like we'll visit people, and even though we might not have the same beliefs, they're still very kind.
So, have you, like everywhere else, right? You go there, maybe some like, unkind or whatever, not so nice people, right? Have you guys encountered much of this kind in here or no?
I mean, like, occasionally, like, there's some people everywhere that you don't want to talk to, but for the most part, people are pretty good. They're pretty nice to us. Honestly, yeah, I have no complaints. Really good people.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I
What
think
about you?
most people will talk to you, and they're kind about it, but I think everywhere you go, there's always some people who can be rude, and that's the same for everywhere sometimes, unfortunately. But here in West Virginia, I haven't run across too many.
Yeah, that's true. So, what about the food side of Charleston? Like, I'm sure it's kind of like, I guess in some ways it's kind of like China, right? Each place they have their kind of local cuisine, right? Have you guys tried any of the local cuisines here? Like, what are the local dishes?
Okay, yeah. So there's a place called Steak Escape where you get some of the best cheesesteak sandwiches that you've ever had. It's just steak and a piece of bread, and you can get whatever else you want on the sandwich, and you eat it, and it's just fantastic. Go there almost every week.
One of my favorite foods from around here is called pepperoni rolls.
Wow.
And it's just a roll, basic bread, and then inside are pepperoni pieces of meat. And it's delicious. They go clear back to the history in West Virginia. Coal miners were given them for lunches, and to this day, pepperoni rolls are still one of the main popular dishes around in this area.
Okay, so like if some people, let's say if I'm coming from abroad and get to here the first time, like what are there any special places you would recommend me to stay as a visitor?
Yeah, I would say probably if you like hiking, there's a lot of great options here for hiking. You can see trees, mountains. There's lots of rolling green hills in West Virginia. Just beautiful places to go and see scenery.
So, like when you guys arrived here the first time, how did you guys like it? Was it like what you guys hoped for, or something different?
I think the first thing that stood out to me, I'm from kind of a dry place with a lot of dirt and kind of sand and it's really hot. And so coming into here, I saw all of the green trees and all of these hills, and the fog was kind of resting between it, and I was so amazed. It's so pretty.
Yeah. So one last question, like, is it easy? I know you guys have been here for a while. Is it easy to make friends here in West Virginia or Charleston?
I think it would be pretty easy. Everyone is pretty friendly and talkative to you. I haven't had a problem here making friends.
Yeah, no, I would say especially if you're a tourist in West Virginia, people would love to talk to you, show you all the great places, and just talk about their state. People love it here, and so I'm sure it'd be very easy.
谢谢观看，我们下次见。